Have you ever stared at your phone, waiting for that one message that never came? You keep checking, and once in the morning, then again at night, and every time, the silence feels heavier. It's strange, isn't it? How someone who used to talk to you all day suddenly vanishes, and you start wondering if she ever cared at all. But let me tell you something most men never understand. Silence doesn't always mean she doesn't care. Sometimes silence means you finally touched something inside her that words can't handle. You see, women don't always go quiet because they've stopped feeling. They often go quiet because they're feeling too much, and the louder her emotions become, the quieter she gets. But here's where most men lose their power and they panic. They think, she's pulling away. I have to do something. So they text, they call, they explain, they beg, not realizing that every message sent from panic only makes them look weaker. Tell me honestly, how many times have you written a long text, explaining yourself, apologizing, trying to fix what wasn't even broken, and then felt emptier afterward? That's because you confused silence with rejection, when in truth silence is her test. It's the moment the universe asks you, can you hold your frame when things go quiet? Most men can't. They break under the weight of uncertainty. But a Stoic man, he doesn't fight silence. He understands it's part of the rhythm of relationships, the pause between two emotional storms. Think about it. When you stop reacting to silence, something interesting happens, the energy shifts. Because silence that once controlled you now becomes your teacher. You learn patience. You learn restraint. You learn how to listen to what's not being said. And here's the twist. When you don't chase, she starts to feel it. She starts to wonder, why isn't he reaching out? Has he moved on? And that's when her silence turns into curiosity. Curiosity turns into missing you. And missing you turns into obsession. But you'll never see that transformation if you keep breaking the silence first. I know it hurts. The stillness after love feels like standing in a room full of memories where only echoes answer back. But sometimes silence isn't punishment, it's protection. It's giving both of you space to see what was real and what was only noise. So instead of fearing her silence, embrace it. Let it sharpen your mind and soften your ego. Because one day, that same silence that made you doubt her feelings will be the reason she remembers your strength. Remember this. Weak men fill silence with words. Strong men fill silence with presence. So don't rush to fill the gap. Be still. So don't rush to fill the gap. Be still. Because the man who can stay calm in silence becomes the man she can never forget. You replay everything. The laughter. The nights you stayed up talking until dawn. The way she once looked at you like you were her entire world. And now, silence. You wonder if she's thinking about you. If she's already moved on. And you start to question yourself, maybe I wasn't enough. But what if I told you, you didn't lose her because you weren't enough? You lost her because you didn't understand the silent mistakes even smart men make. Mistakes that push women away without them realizing. So before you text her again, before you overthink another message, before you give away another piece of your peace, stop. Because in this video, we're going to break down the 9 mistakes that even the most intelligent men make with women, and how Stoic philosophy can help you turn heartbreak into power, silence into clarity, and pain into wisdom. If you've ever been heartbroken, if you've ever loved someone who walked away without a goodbye, then stay till the end, because this video might just change the way you see love forever. And if you're new here, subscribe to Stoic Mysteries, because here we don't chase emotions and we master them. Mistake number 1, loving her more than your peace. Have you ever loved someone so deeply that you forgot what peace even felt like? The late-night arguments that never really ended. The texts you kept rewriting, deleting, and rewriting again, just to make sure she didn't misunderstand you. You told yourself, it's love. I'm just trying to keep her happy. But here's the truth, brother, you weren't keeping her happy. You were keeping your fear of losing her quiet. You see, when a man starts loving a woman more than his own peace, he unknowingly begins to lose his center. Every smile, every mood, every silence from her starts to decide how he feels about himself. And that's the exact moment where love turns from strength into weakness. Tell me honestly, how many times did you ignore your gut because you didn't want to upset her? How many times did you say, it's fine, when deep down it wasn't? You stopped being honest, not because you were weak, but because you were afraid of losing her presence. But here's the thing no one told you. When love costs your peace, it's no longer love. It's attachment. And attachment disguised as love will drain you until there's nothing left to give. I know what you're thinking, but I gave her everything. I tried my best. Yes, you did. And that's why it hurts so much. Because when you love deeply, you expect that love to heal you back. But sometimes the one you love the most becomes the mirror showing you everything you forgot about yourself. Think back to the first time you met her. You were calm, confident, you had a fire in your soul. You didn't chase her. She was drawn to you because you had peace in your presence. But over time, you replaced your peace with her approval, and that's when everything started to crumble. The Stoics taught that no external thing, not money, not power, not even love, should ever have control over your inner state. Because once it does, you become its slave. When she left, it wasn't just her absence that broke you, it was the silence after the chaos. It forced you to face yourself, the version of you that forgot who he was before love became war. But this heartbreak, it's not your ending, it's your recalibration. It's the universe whispering, come back home, to your peace. And when you do, when you finally stop chasing closure and start chasing calm, everything changes. You stop needing her to validate your worth. You stop begging for someone to see your value. And slowly, the noise fades. Because peace doesn't beg. Peace doesn't chase. Peace simply stays and watches everything unworthy walk away. So remember this, love her, but never more than your peace. Because a woman can walk away at any moment. But your peace, that's the only thing that will never leave you. Mistake number 2, thinking silence means she doesn't care. Have you ever stared at your phone, waiting for that one message that never came? You keep checking, and once in the morning, then again at night, and every time, the silence feels heavier. It's strange, isn't it? How someone who used to talk to you all day suddenly vanishes, and you start wondering if she ever cared at all. But let me tell you something most men never understand. Silence doesn't always mean she doesn't care. Sometimes silence means you finally touched something inside her that words can't handle. You see, women don't always go quiet because they've stopped feeling. They often go quiet because they're feeling too much, and the louder her emotions become, the quieter she gets. But here's where most men lose their power and they panic. They think, she's pulling away. I have to do something. So they text, they call, they explain, they beg, not realizing that every message sent from panic only makes them look weaker. Tell me honestly, how many times have you written a long text, explaining yourself, apologizing, trying to fix what wasn't even broken, and then felt emptier afterward? That's because you confused silence with rejection, when in truth silence is her test. It's the moment the universe asks you, can you hold your frame when things go quiet? Most men can't. They break under the weight of uncertainty. But a Stoic man, he doesn't fight silence. He understands it's part of the rhythm of relationships, the pause between two emotional storms. Think about it. When you stop reacting to silence, something interesting happens, the energy shifts. Because silence that once controlled you now becomes your teacher. You learn patience. You learn restraint. You learn how to listen to what's not being said. And here's the twist. When you don't chase, she starts to feel it. She starts to wonder, why isn't he reaching out? Has he moved on? And that's when her silence turns into curiosity. Curiosity turns into missing you. And missing you turns into obsession. But you'll never see that transformation if you keep breaking the silence first. I know it hurts. The stillness after love feels like standing in a room full of memories where only echoes answer back. But sometimes silence isn't punishment, it's protection. It's giving both of you space to see what was real and what was only noise. So instead of fearing her silence, embrace it. Let it sharpen your mind and soften your ego. Because one day, that same silence that made you doubt her feelings will be the reason she remembers your strength. Remember this, weak men fill silence with words. Strong men fill silence with presence. So don't rush to fill the gap. Be still, because the man who can stay calm in silence becomes the man she can never forget. Mistake number 3, trying to fix her emotions. Let me ask you something, brother. Have you ever looked into her eyes, seen her pain, and felt this burning need to fix it? To make her smile again? To turn her storm into sunshine? Even if it means losing yourself in the process? You think, if I can just make her happy, she'll see how much I care. But that's where the mistake begins. Because the moment you try to fix her emotions, you stop being her man and start being her therapist. And women don't fall in love with therapists. They fall for men who can hold space without falling apart. Let me tell you a story. There was a man, calm, patient, loving, who gave his all to a woman who carried invisible scars. Every time she cried, he rushed to comfort her. Every time she got angry, he blamed himself. And when she went silent, he chased her, begging to understand what was wrong. But no matter how hard he tried to fix her, she drifted further away. One day, exhausted, he asked, "What more do you want from me?" And she said something that shattered him. "I never asked you to fix me. I just wanted you to listen." That's when he realized, and women don't always want solutions. They want presence. They want to feel safe feeling around you, not be told how to stop feeling. But most men, and especially the ones with good hearts, can't stand seeing the woman they love in pain, so they start giving advice, reassurance, or comfort on repeat. And slowly, that turns attraction into exhaustion, because you can't lead a woman emotionally if you keep trying to rescue her from her own storms. Here's what Stoicism teaches us. You can't control her emotions, only your reaction to them. And when you stay calm while she's in chaos, you become her anchor and not her savior. The next time she's upset, don't rush to fix it. Don't say, "It's okay, don't cry." Instead, say nothing for a moment. Look at her, breathe, and just be there. Because silence from a grounded man speaks louder than comfort from a desperate one. Women remember the men who can stay still in their storm, because stillness feels safe. And safety, that's where love grows. Ask yourself, how many times did you lose yourself trying to save someone who didn't even ask for saving? You thought love meant healing her pain. But true love, my friend, means respecting that sometimes she has to walk through it herself. So stop trying to fix her. Fix your need to fix. Because the man who stops rescuing becomes the man she finally respects. And when you learn to hold space instead of control it, that's when you become unforgettable. With that said, remember, her emotions aren't your project. Your peace is. Mistake number 4, confusing attention with connection. Let me ask you something, brother. Have you ever had a woman who used to text you all the time, call you every night, laugh at your jokes, and you thought, yeah, this is real. This is connection. But then one day, it all just stopped. No goodbye, no explanation, just silence. And you sat there staring at your phone thinking, what happened? We had something. But here's the truth. What you had wasn't always connection. It was attention. And those two things are not the same. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Daniel, strong, successful but lonely after a painful breakup. Then one day he met her. She was funny, affectionate, and made him feel seen again after months of emptiness. Her messages came in every morning, her calls every night. It felt like healing, like destiny. But slowly he noticed something. Whenever he talked about his goals or feelings, she'd change the topic. Whenever he went quiet to focus on himself, she'd suddenly get distant too. It was like she was there for the rush, not the roots. He was addicted to her attention, thinking it meant she cared. But when the attention faded, he realized there was no real bond beneath it, just temporary validation. You see, brother, attention feeds the ego, but connection feeds the soul. Attention says, I like the way you make me feel. Connection says, I like who you are when you're not trying. A woman's attention can make you feel alive, especially when you're healing from heartbreak. It can feel like proof that you're still desirable, still worth something. But if you're not careful, you'll start chasing that feeling instead of the truth. That's why many men fall into emotional traps, thinking a few deep talks, flirty texts, or shared laughs equal connection. But connection isn't measured by how often she talks to you. It's measured by how safe she feels to be real with you. A woman can give you attention one day and forget your name the next. But when she's truly connected, her presence feels peaceful, not addictive. So ask yourself honestly, was it love? Or was it the thrill of being wanted again after feeling unwanted for so long? Sometimes the hardest pill to swallow is this. She never loved you. She just loved the way you loved her. And when you finally understand that, your heart breaks. But it also wakes up. Because attention fades. But connection, the kind that's built on peace, understanding, and shared values, that's timeless. So next time you feel that spark, don't chase the high. Watch the silence. Watch the consistency. See if her actions match her words. Because a man who learns to tell the difference between attention and connection never falls for illusions again. And that, my friend, is where real strength begins. Mistake number 5, apologizing for your standards. Let me ask you something, brother. Have you ever lowered your standards just to keep someone in your life? You knew deep down she wasn't treating you right. She'd cancel plans, talk to other guys, test your patience. But you told yourself, it's fine, maybe I'm asking for too much. You started apologizing for expecting respect. Apologizing for wanting loyalty. Apologizing for being a man with standards. This is one of the biggest mistakes smart men make with women. They confuse peacekeeping with people-pleasing. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Adam, calm, logical, hardworking. After a painful breakup, he met a woman who brought color back into his world. She was beautiful, spontaneous, and unpredictable. The kind of woman who could make a man feel like he's living in a movie. But soon, small things started to bother him. She flirted openly with others, posted provocative things online, ignored his calls for hours, and when he calmly expressed how it made him feel, she laughed. "You're overreacting," she said. "You're too sensitive." And because Adam didn't want to lose her, he started lowering his standards. He told himself, maybe that's just how modern women are. He stayed quiet when she disrespected him. He laughed off things that hurt him. He swallowed his pride, thinking that tolerance equals love. But here's what most men never realize until it's too late. Every time you lower your standards to keep her, you teach her how little she needs to do to keep you. When a man apologizes for his standards, he's not being kind, he's being afraid. Afraid of being alone, afraid of not being enough. But the truth is, your standards are not demands. They're boundaries built from self-respect. And brother, a man without standards will always attract chaos. Because when you stop standing for something, you'll fall for anything. Now pause for a second, think about your past love. That moment when you felt you had to explain why you needed loyalty, honesty, or time. You remember how exhausting that felt? That's your soul whispering. You're betraying yourself just to keep her. A woman might test your boundaries, but a real woman will respect them. And if she walks away when you hold the line, she's not your loss. She's your lesson. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And being one means this: never apologize for your values. If your peace requires distance, choose distance. If your standards cost you people, let them go. Because the moment you stop apologizing for your standards, you start attracting people who rise to meet them. So don't dim your light to make someone else comfortable. Don't shrink your worth to fit inside her comfort zone. You are not asking for too much, you're just asking the wrong person. And one day when you look back, you'll realize the moment you stopped apologizing for your standards was the moment you started becoming the man you were meant to be. Mistake number 6, mistaking lust for love. Let me ask you something, brother. Have you ever looked into a woman's eyes, felt your heart race, your thoughts blur, and said to yourself, this must be love? But weeks later, when the fire cooled and the silence hit, you realized it wasn't love. It was lust. A storm that burned bright but never warmed your soul. Every man has been there, especially after heartbreak. When you've been lonely too long, even attention feels like affection. Even chaos feels like chemistry. I remember a man named Daniel, quiet, intelligent, the kind of man who gave everything once he felt a spark. After his divorce, he met a woman who brought that spark back. She was magnetic, the kind of beauty that made you forget logic. The way she laughed, the way she touched him, the way her presence made the world fade. He thought, I'm alive again. But here's the thing about lust, it's a mirage. It shows you what you want to see, not what's really there. At first, everything felt perfect. Late night talks, wild kisses, promises whispered under the stars. But after a few months, Daniel started feeling that emptiness again. When the physical spark dimmed, there was nothing to hold on to, no friendship, no shared values, no peace. Just silence, confusion, and that sinking feeling in his chest. The same one he felt after his ex left him. And that's when it hit him. He hadn't fallen in love with her. He'd fallen in love with the feeling of being desired again. Men often mistake lust for love because lust speaks louder than reason. It blinds you to red flags. You start ignoring disrespect, inconsistency, and emotional distance because your body's chemistry is louder than your inner wisdom. And brother, that's how smart men end up heartbroken again and again. Ask yourself this. How many times did you stay because the passion was strong? Even when your peace was gone? How many nights did you tell yourself, maybe it'll get better, while your soul already knew it wouldn't? Love, true love, doesn't rush. It's calm. It's patient. It's consistent. It doesn't need to consume you. It helps you become you. Lust makes you chase the high. Love makes you build the foundation. Lust demands excitement. Love demands discipline. And here's the Stoic truth. The man who can control his desire. You see, women respect men who can feel attraction without being controlled by it, because it shows power, restraint, self-mastery. So next time you feel that magnetic pull towards someone, pause, ask yourself, do I love her soul? Or am I just addicted to the way she makes me feel right now? Because if it's just the high you're chasing, heartbreak is always waiting at the bottom. True love isn't about finding the one who excites you most. It's about finding the one who brings you peace even when excitement fades. And that, brother, is what every strong man eventually learns. Sometimes the most powerful love you'll ever experience is the one that starts after you stop mistaking lust for love. Mistake number 7, giving energy to what doesn't deserve it. Let me ask you something, brother. Have you ever given everything to someone who gave you just enough to keep you hoping? You stayed up late texting, overthinking every message, replaying her words in your mind. While she barely gave you half the attention you were giving her, you thought it was love. But it wasn't. It was you, feeding something that was never going to feed you back. Every man makes this mistake, giving his time, attention, and emotions to someone who hasn't earned them. And it's not because you're weak. It's because your heart is still trying to fix what broke it. You remember the one who left, and every woman after that becomes a silent attempt to fill that same emptiness. I once knew a man named James. After his breakup, he met a woman who reminded him of his ex. Soft voice, same smile, same mysterious energy. She wasn't bad, but she wasn't good for him either. She'd text one day, disappear the next. When he pulled away, she'd suddenly come back, just enough to keep him hooked. He started losing sleep. He checked his phone every few minutes, wondering, did I say something wrong? Is she losing interest? And in that process, he forgot himself. You see, this is how many men slowly destroy their peace. Not because of rejection, but because they invest in confusion. They pour energy into people who don't value effort, attention, or presence. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That means, stop giving your mind to people who haven't earned a seat inside it. Because the more energy you give to someone who drains you, the less you have left for the person who could truly love you. Ask yourself this: why do you chase people who make you feel anxious instead of peaceful? Why do you stay where love feels like guessing, not growing? The truth is, energy is the most expensive currency you'll ever spend. And the more you waste it on drama, the less power you have for your purpose, your healing, and your self-respect. Remember this, brother. Attention is a reward. Not everyone deserves it. Not everyone has earned it. When you stop giving your energy to what drains you, something amazing happens. You start attracting what feeds you. You glow differently. You walk differently. You stop explaining yourself. Stop begging for clarity. Stop chasing validation. Because your peace becomes your new priority. And the moment you do that, she feels it too. The same woman who ignored you will suddenly start noticing you. Because silence and indifference are the strongest forms of presence. So if you're heartbroken right now, still thinking about someone who barely cared, and stop. Don't try to prove your worth to the wrong person. Instead, protect it. Because a man who guards his energy becomes magnetic. And one day when the right woman comes, she'll feel that strength, that calm, that peace in your energy. And she'll know instantly. She's standing in the presence of a man who no longer gives his power away to what doesn't deserve it. Mistake number 8, forgetting your mission. Let me ask you a hard question, brother. When was the last time you woke up for yourself? Not to check if she texted. Not to scroll through her social media. Not to wonder who she's with now. But for you, your goals, your purpose, your mission in this life. You see, the biggest mistake a man can make, one that silently destroys his confidence and masculinity, is forgetting his mission the moment love enters the picture. Every man has a fire inside him and a direction, a calling. But when heartbreak hits, when she walks away, that fire starts to fade. You stop chasing your purpose and start chasing her memory. You stop building your empire and start building fantasies of getting her back. I know a man, and let's call him Daniel. Daniel was ambitious, sharp, full of life. But when he fell in love, everything changed. She became his world, his reason to wake up, his reason to work harder, his reason to smile, until one day she left. No closure, no warning, just gone. And that's when Daniel broke. Not because she left, but because he realized he had built his entire identity around her presence. Sound familiar? How many times have you stopped your growth for someone who was never meant to stay? How many nights have you wasted staring at the ceiling, wondering where it went wrong, instead of working on the man you were born to become? Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." That means, the moment you lose sight of your mission, you lose sight of yourself. Brother, women are drawn to men who are rooted in purpose. A man who's building, creating, and moving forward is magnetic because his energy isn't dependent on attention. It's fueled by vision. But when a man loses his purpose, he becomes needy, reactive, emotional. He starts seeking externally what he's meant to build internally. Think back to the time before her. Remember the dreams you had? The things that made your heart race? The vision that once pulled you out of bed every morning? That is your mission calling you back. Pain is a brutal teacher. But the truth is, your heartbreak isn't here to destroy you. It's here to redirect you. She walked away not to break your spirit, but to push you back toward your purpose. The moment you return to your mission, something powerful happens and your energy shifts. You stop chasing what's temporary and start creating what's eternal. You stop begging to be understood and start becoming the man others aspire to understand. So if you're watching this with a broken heart, stop trying to rebuild the past. Rebuild yourself. Because when a man chooses his mission over his misery, the world bends to his will, and the same woman who doubted your worth will one day hear your name and realize she walked away from a man who turned his pain into power. Mistake number 9, letting pain turn you bitter instead of wiser. Let me ask you something real. When she left, did it make you stronger or colder? Because that's the choice every man faces after heartbreak. The moment when love turns into silence, and silence turns into pain, some men grow from it, others let it poison them. You see, pain doesn't destroy you, bitterness does. There's a man I once knew, let's call him Adam. Adam loved deeply, the kind of love that keeps you awake at night, smiling at nothing. He gave her his time, his loyalty, his heart, everything. But one day she changed. Her texts got shorter, her tone colder, her eyes distant, and then she left. No explanation, no closure. Just a goodbye that burned like betrayal. And from that day on, Adam changed. He stopped smiling. He stopped trusting. He told himself, love is fake. Women can't be trusted. I'll never let anyone get close again. But here's the truth. Adam didn't become stronger. He became numb. That's what bitterness does, brother. It builds walls around your heart not to protect you, but to imprison you. It convinces you that shutting down is strength, when in reality it's fear wearing armor. Every man who's been heartbroken knows this feeling. Waking up with her ghost in your mind, scrolling through her memories, wondering why your love wasn't enough. You replay every moment, every laugh, every lie, and somewhere in between the memories and the silence you start losing yourself. But here's where Stoicism changes the game. Stoicism teaches you that pain is not your enemy, it's your teacher. When a woman breaks your heart, the universe is not punishing you, it's refining you. It's showing you what you ignored, what you tolerated, and what you must outgrow. It's stripping away your illusions so that the real you can rise, calmer, wiser, more disciplined. Ask yourself, what did your heartbreak teach you? Did it teach you the value of peace? Did it show you the danger of overgiving? Did it remind you to protect your energy? If yes, then that pain wasn't your ending, it was your awakening. But if you let it make you bitter, if you start hating love, distrusting every woman, and isolating yourself in resentment, then the person who left still controls you, because you're still reacting to their absence, instead of mastering your own presence. Brother, remember this, the man who learns from pain evolves. The man who resents pain repeats it. Don't close your heart, guard it. Don't hate love, understand it, and don't let one broken chapter convince you the whole story isn't worth reading. You are not meant to stay wounded. You are meant to rise rebuilt. Turn that pain into wisdom. Turn heartbreak into higher standards. Turn loss into legacy. Because the man who transforms pain into purpose never loses. He simply becomes untouchable. Conclusion. The truth is, she'll remember you. Not because of what you said, but because of how your silence felt. Not because you begged, but because you finally stopped explaining. She'll think about you in the quiet moments, When she meets a man who talks too much, feels too little, or lacks that calm confidence you built from pain. But by then you'll have already moved on, not with another woman, but with a stronger version of yourself. Because that's the Stoic path, turning heartbreak into higher purpose, turning silence into strength, turning loss into liberation. So if you're watching this and your heart is still healing, remember, you didn't lose her, you found yourself. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.